Hello,
Welcome to Stitch 24, the Knitter's Guide to Knit podcast.
I'm Darlene, Bags of Awesome Granny on Instagram, and Awesome Granny on Ravelry, and then my shop is Bags of Awesome Granny on Etsy.
All right. I'm Carrie. On Ravelry, my name is I'm a Knitfomaniac, and on Instagram, it's just Knitfomaniac. So it has been probably a month since we have recorded.
Has it been that long?
It has. It has
Don't
been
seem
about
like
a
it's
month.
been that long.
And we were going to record a couple of weeks ago, and then we couldn't find a room, like on a Wednesday or something. And then we were going to record on Friday, and then Jaime had a mild heart attack, and I couldn't record, and then I've been like in and out of work. And now we're recording.
So what's been going on?
I have a ton of stuff that's been going on. So my sister got a couple of new dogs. She named them Nico and Oslo.
They're so cute.
They are very cute. They're Labradoodles? I think they're Labradoodles. And she already had a Labradoodle named Sasha. And she also has a Rhodesian Ridgeback named Savannah. And she had a lab named Hunter, but Hunter passed away in the last month, right after she got the new dogs, actually. But he had been sick for a while. And then Bizzle got a new dog. She got a Great Dane. She named Hayes. And originally, she was going to leave the dog at Paige's house because Bizzle doesn't have her own house. She lives with her sister. So Paige has been wanting another dog for Jazz to play with. And Jazz is already big enough on her own. Paige just needs another dog like she needs a hole in her head. And so Bizzle said, well, I'm going to get a dog, and I'm going to leave it at your house. And so Paige was like, okay. But then Bizzle's sister said, if you do more cleaning around the house, then I'll let you leave the dog here. I'll let you keep the dog here. So Bizzle's been keeping the dog. Now, Paige babysits it every once in a while. I haven't had to babysit it because I think while her dog is a Great Dane, it's only like 9 or 10 weeks old, and it's scared of my dogs. My dogs bark and bark and bark and bark. The two new dachshunds, they bark all the time. And so I don't think Bizzle's going to have me babysitting for a while, which is perfectly fine with me. So what else did we have going on? Lots of first days of school.
Yeah, two of my grandkids, the ones that live here, they started to school on the 20th, and then the ones that live in Houston, they started to school this past Monday, the 27th.
Antonio started the 27th, first day of first grade, and I got pictures of Alexis, who started kindergarten, first day of kindergarten. Alexis is 5. I didn't get pictures from Yvette on Celeste and Catalea, so I don't know if she has any pictures, but I do have pictures of Alexis with my stepson and Antonio on his first day. Paige has done haircuts for homeless. I was really proud of her. And then they had a back to school cut thing, and she went and she went to another place or whatever and did haircuts for free for kids going back to school.
That's nice.
I thought that was really nice of her to do that. I know Bizzle does the haircuts for homeless, but I wasn't 100% sure if Bizzle went to the other one. But Paige probably would have never told me had I not seen it tagged on Facebook by whoever was with her.
Oh, that's nice that she does that.
It is nice that she does that. Always giving back to the community, which is very nice. Grace went off to college. My sister was a wreck. And my parents had their 50th wedding anniversary, which was very exciting.
Wow.
That's how everything started with Jaime and his mild heart attack. So we all went out to dinner at Sushi Hana for my parents' 50th wedding anniversary. It was my sister and her husband, Jim, myself and Jaime, and Paige and Antonio, and my mom and dad. And then Jaime had drove to my house, and Paige had drove to my house before dinner and left their cars there, and we went in one car. And then we came back to my house, and Paige went home, and Jaime went home. And Jaime sent me a text message, I think at about 4 o'clock in the morning, that I didn't hear. Even though my phone is right next to my bed, I sleep pretty hard. I didn't hear it, and he texted me to call him when I woke up. And I didn't see it when I woke up because I didn't look at my phone. I usually just get up and go straight into the shower. So when the phone rang as I was getting out of the shower at 6 o'clock, I was a little panicked. I thought it might have been like Paige or something. And I answered it, and it was Jaime. He was at the hospital. So I texted Darlene, I can't record today, and I went to the hospital. And he had all sorts of tests, and he's not really high risk. He doesn't smoke. He doesn't have high blood pressure. He doesn't have high cholesterol. His EKGs were fine. His ECGs were fine. You know, everything was fine, but he was having this mild heart attack. And then they ran a whole bunch of other tests, and he ended up needing a quadruple bypass, which he had this past 2 Tuesdays ago. Not yesterday, but a week from yesterday. And he's home now, and I've just kind of been running back and forth between either homework, hospital, or homework, his house, and next week we'll probably start a bunch of doctor's appointments and stuff to go to. So
when can he drive?
6 to 8 weeks.
At least his boys are there, so they can take him to the doctor and stuff if need be.
Yeah, and so he does. And Jacob just went for a job interview.
Oh, yay!
Yay! Yesterday, so hopefully he finds out in about a week or so if that's going to happen. But yeah, he's tired of being home. He's tired of being, well, he was tired of being in a hospital, but he's home now, and now he's tired of being home, and he's only on day 3 of being home, day 3 or 4. But he says once the pain really stops, because, you know, he's just kind of sitting there taking pain medication, because, you know, they crack your chest open. So I've been surfing the internet for some healthy recipes to make for him and stuff. And one of his girlfriends, her name's Star, she's been messaging me ever since, you know, all of this happened and stuff. And we were messaging before, but, and she said, you know, you can cook things healthily and they still taste good. And I'm thinking, yeah, right. It tastes like cardboard. She said, no, I'll show you. And so we're going to cook together. She's got a good chicken enchilada recipe made with tomatillos. And she's got a pecan pie recipe that I think is supposed to be healthier. It's got oats in it. I mean, it still has sugar. And we were going to try and...
Ugh, oats.
We were going to try...
Sounds terrible.
We were going to try and substitute the brown sugar with... Is it called agave? Agave?
I've heard of people doing that.
But she did read that brown sugar was harder to substitute because of the moisture in it. So we're not going to do it this time. We're going to try it maybe next time. See how he likes this pie first. And then some lasagna stuffed bell peppers.
Oh, that sounds good.
And I was getting the grocery list together. I'm going to go grocery shopping, online, because I do everything online. And then I'll pick up the groceries tomorrow on my way to her place, because we're going to do it tomorrow.
Does she live here in San Antonio?
Yeah, she's right outside 1604 at I-10. She's in like that Camp Bullis area. And she works at Gray Moss Inn right here up in
Oh,
Durham.
really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Helotes. Anyway, and so I'm going to, shop online, get all the groceries, and then pick them up at HEB curbside on the way out. We have a grocery store here in Texas. I think it's only in Texas, called HEB. And pick it up, and I was getting the grocery list together, and there was, of course, in the ingredients was ricotta cheese. I was like, Jaime does not like ricotta. I've made him lasagna I don't know how many times, and he does not like ricotta cheese, so I usually just leave it out. So she said to add cottage cheese instead.
I've heard of people doing that.
So I put small curd cottage cheese on the list, and we'll see how that goes. But the bottom line is he's got to be healthier, which means I've got to be healthier. And I don't know. I mean, it's expensive to eat healthy, but hopefully we end up like kind of in the long run saving a little money from not going out all the time. But we'll see. And I picked up I didn't pick up, again, online shopping. I ordered an air fryer that was delivered yesterday. I haven't used it yet, but I've looked at a few recipes, and I'm waiting on a recipe book from Amazon. So I'm anxious to use that. And just, if you guys have any fun, great, healthy, heart-healthy recipes, I mean, they don't have to be like 100%, as long as they're healthier than what we used to be eating. We're both going to try and eat more, fruits and vegetables and things of that nature. But it's hard. If being healthy was easy, everybody would do it.
Yeah, it is. It's very hard.
It is hard. And but the doctors gave him some good websites to check out different things, and we'll just have to see how it goes. I mean, I'm excited, to try and do it. He's not eating a lot right now. He's probably lost 10 pounds, and I hate him for it. But
well, he did just have open heart surgery.
He did just have open heart surgery, and he's just not very hungry. And I'm a stress eater. So he's sitting in the hospital not eating anything, and I want to eat everything in sight. And I'm thinking, what can I go down to the cafeteria and buy? Is there pudding? Is there cake? Is there cookies? And of course I don't want to eat all this stuff in front of him, but I'm a stress eater. I mean, I go to town eating when I'm stressed. So that didn't work very well for me. I'm sure I've been gaining the weight and he's been losing the weight. So that kind of sucks. But we'll see how it goes. If you guys have any, great recipes or great ideas or whatever, put them down in the notes or what have you. I think I just messed up a stitch over here.
So I really don't have anything going on. I mean, before school started, the girls were here for a week, and we didn't do a whole lot. We went to the show and kind of hung around the house and went and got snow cones and just didn't do a whole lot. But then took them back home, and then school started.
Yeah.
So
school.
Yep.
I think Paige picked up Antonio after school. Usually he would go to karate, but it's the first day of school and it's a Monday. So she had off, the shop was closed, and I think she picked him up from school, like parent pickup type thing. And they went to some yogurt place and, had yogurt or whatever. So I called him, I FaceTimed him from the hospital. From Jaime's house. We were at Jaime's house already by Monday to see how he did, and he got to see Pampaw and sitting in the chair, and he said he had a good time. So
good.
That was good.
That's good.
But Darlene has quite a few finished objects sitting over there.
Oh, I have a pretty big shop update, and then I just got 2 finished objects. But
you had a third. You just gave it away.
Which third? What was that?
Your green one. Your green Augusta.
I thought we talked about that on the last podcast.
We didn't have a last podcast because Jaime had a heart attack.
Well, I know, but I thought before that. Okay, well, I could have swore. But so I finished a virus shawl, a little bitty thing. So I'm going to give this to Peyton.
It's so cute. I'll take a picture of it and insert it, but I love it. It is tiny.
Yeah, it's pretty
for
small.
one skein.
And then I finished my Augusta shawl, the one that I was wanting to find the more yarn.
And thank you everybody who commented that the yarn was available again.
And I did find it. I added 2 more skeins of yarn to it, and it's just the yarn from Hobby Lobby, but it's really soft. I really do like it.
You can see the difference in the yellows. So here's the first couple of skeins.
I was a little bummed about that.
And then the next couple of skeins aren't quite as bright. And again, I'll take a picture and insert it, but you certainly can see, a little, dye lot differences. You never know.
But I really enjoyed making it.
It's beautiful.
I enjoy it. It was a relaxing, easy, when you didn't want to think thing to make. So I worked on that. This one was a thinker. This one I had to watch like a bazillion YouTubes to get it going, but it was, I mean, I enjoyed doing it, but it was a thinker. And this was some yarn it was Knit Circus yarn that Michelle
from Naughty
Knitwits gave me.
So beautiful. And speaking of Naughty Knitwits, we have the giveaway from Naughty Knitwits. I think I have it sitting over here. It's a Tuft Woolens bag. I think I've inserted a picture with the Barnyard Knits skein of yarn, Naughty Knitwits card, and bud.
So what did the inappropriate winner say?
I don't have it. Hold on. I'll reach here. It was a great story. I loved the story. So there were numbers 2 through 26, but Darlene commented on 9, 10, and 11, so I subtracted those out and moved everything up. So like number 2 is number 5, number 3 is number 6, number 4 is number 7, number 5 is number 8, 6, 9, 7, 10, 8, 11, and then the rest go on it. Miss Marby, MSMARBI, and I loved her story. It's Miss Marby, and to be honest, she says my most invasive event is much like Angelic Embers, which I think is above her. After 19 years of marriage, was totally blindsided when husband left me for someone younger than our daughters. Needless to say, I was a basket case, as in 30-day period, both our daughters married and he left. So household went from 5 people to just 2, our son and me. After wallowing in self-pity for a month, decided to take control of my life and not be the victim. I had ample opportunity to make him aware I was not a victim, but not had the pleasure of reaching out and touching her life, as she was not just young and innocent, as she knew all along he was married. After careful consideration and finding out she had a new HR position with a prestigious company, I responded to a couple of female seeking female ads using her name. I think this is hilarious. Left fairly provocative messages giving, of course, her name and please call me at, you guessed it, her new employer. That afternoon, my husband called, upset that she was getting these calls, and she was very angry. The same night, my lawyer called with laughter in the background. He laughingly proceeded to tell me that my husband had called him all upset. Mission accomplished. I was done. Arguably neither my best moment or my worst. But either way, I turned the tables on being a pitiful victim and went on with my life, never looking back. As one door closes, another opens. A couple of years later, I was contacted by my high school sweetheart that I had not heard from in 30 years, and we just celebrated our 20th anniversary. Life could not be better.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it's like, you know, that's the way it should have happened. But some of these stories are great. If you guys haven't gone out here and read some of these things, I also liked where she put talking about angelic embers. I also loved her story too, angelic embers. Way to go. So anyway, I have that. If Miss Marby, M-S-M-A-R-B-I, will send me a PM and give me all your information. I have all this stuff. There's a lip balm and pins and all sorts of fun things that we can do. And then, what are you working on?
Well, show your finished objects first, since I already showed mine.
Oh, I also have a Augusta shawl that I finished. I haven't woven in the ends. I'll have to take a picture, but yeah, I've still got ends laying out. This is the Cinnamon Girl colorway, and that favorite yarn that we both love is our favorite now is that wool tram yarn. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it, but I enjoyed making it. It was easy.
It was. I enjoyed doing that.
It was crocheted, and it was easy, and I did enjoy it. And then with Jaime having hit the hospital, I really wanted to work on my Hit a Feud, but it was just too much of a thinker for me. So I looked at what I had going on and what I've had going on for some time that's less of a thinker, and I pulled out my boxy.
Your boxy cape.
Boxy cape. Sorry. Yes, it's a boxy cape.
It's really pretty.
And I'm almost done. So again, I have to insert a picture. I'll take a picture on the table, but it needs buttons. So I pretty much now just
does it button up the side too?
It does.
So the side and the front.
It has 3 buttons on the side. If you pull this apart, here's one. It's kind of high up. Here's 1. Here's 2. I mean, so like, here's the top one. So that's how much I have for my arm to go through, which is fine.
Yeah.
But it's pretty high up, and the first one I think doesn't go in until like 6 or something inches from the. Here's the first one. So here's the
2 on each side.
3. There's one
3
in the
on
middle.
each side. And then some on the front.
4 in the front. So here's the first one from the bottom, and here's the last one from the top, and then there's 1 in the middle. So it has 3 on each side, and then 4 in the middle section. So, and I do have a little section where I really didn't notice this until I laid it out and took a picture. You can really kind of see where my skein of yarn changed.
Oh, I mean, you can, but I think it's fine.
I think it's busy enough to. I wasn't going to rip it back because by the time I found that, I was way far down the line. But when I laid it out to take a picture, I think probably to show Darlene, but I laid it out and I thought, oh wow, you really can kind of see that. So that must have been the skein left over from the back that came forward, and then I had some newer skeins.
It's pretty though. I think it'll be nice and warm.
It will be, and I'm hoping to wear it to Canada. So I'm going to pack it up and take it to Canada for my trip and hope it'll be nice and warm. So, but I do still have to do buttons. And I did bring some buttons. I have a picture to insert with some different buttons. I have brown buttons. These are Darlene's favorite buttons, and they'll be in the picture. I'll try and put the picture in for a longer period of time. I have like shell buttons that just look like a shell. I have buttons with a ram on them. They've got like little rams with horns. And I have buttons with two hands that are holding like a heart. I think that's called something, but I don't know what that's called. And I have enough buttons for all of those to put on here, but I'm not sure which buttons. So I have one vote for brown, and you guys can comment and let me know what buttons you think look the best on the boxy cape, and then I'll let you know what I did. So those are my only finished objects.
Well, I'm just working on Shiloh, a scarf. It's just a, it's called, what is this thing called? It's called the, I have no idea. I have no idea what it's called.
Alrighty.
But it
looks like shells.
Yeah, it's kind of shells, but I watched a video on the Bella Coco's website. She does great tutorials for crochet. And so I just was watching all of her videos and looking for one that I thought was pretty. And I think it's called the Elizabeth Stitch, I think. But I'm not sure.
Okay.
I think it's called the Elizabeth Stitch. And I just watched her video, and then I started making it, and you just cast on multiples of 5 plus 2. So the first time I did it, I did 40 stitches, and it was way too wide. It was like a little over 8 inches, which was too wide. So, and Shiloh wanted it a little bit narrower, so I ripped it all out and started it over, and I did 30 stitches.
Oh, well, that's
so, and it's like 6 inches. So, and I think it looks a lot better for a scarf.
I'll insert it here. I'll insert a picture. It's a beautiful stitch.
Thank you. And that's all I've been working on, like literally.
Well, you know me and my craziness. I've been working on a million things. So I have been working on my Hit-a-Feud. Again, I really should be a lot farther on this, but I'm just going to have to adjust my spreadsheet and probably not get it done before I go to Canada, but I am enjoying it. So I do have it attached, the sleeves attached, and I'll insert a picture. So basically, when you cast on and make like a large rectangle. And after you've made this large rectangle, then you join at certain stitch points. Not the back parts, but at certain stitch points. So this is basically the rectangle from here to here on this inside and out. And then you join them here on these sleeves. So it's joined on the inside here on these sleeves. So if you don't want a 3/4 length sleeve, 3/4 arm length sleeve, you need to cast on more stitches for your size. And I wish I had known this before,
yeah,
you know,
too.
I started, and so does Darlene. But I'm, you know, I'm not going back, because by the time I realized what everything was doing, it was too far. So if you want to do more, then if you want it longer, then you have to cast on more, and you have to do it in sets of 2 because you need it for each sleeve. So the pattern repeat, I think, is like 12 stitches. So you'd have to add in multiples of 24. You know, 12 for each arm, and then you could continue with the pattern. And now I'm at the part where I'm really just knitting back and forth. I am in the middle of a row, but I'm just knitting back and forth for it to go down now. So it'll start to knit down, and that's the back. And I've put it on, and I'll insert a picture of me like semi-wearing it. It's a terrible picture, but then once you go down, you're pretty much done. But there's lots of notes on lots of different people's project pages, and there's like 5,000 or 7,000 of these. There's thousands of these. And I don't remember the exact number, but it's either in the 5,000s or the 7,000s or something. But some people who like did chart A, I think I'm supposed to do chart A 3 times, but some people said, oh, I did it 4, or I did it, you know, 5.
Well, it's a little tricky because I like the pattern, but I don't like the way the front hangs. I think the front is too short. So, you know, got to make it longer to make the front longer, which in some people's pictures, in my opinion, them trying to make the front longer made the back way too long. So, you know, it's kind of tricky to get it to the right,
just to the right
to
place.
the right length.
So I'm going to keep going with that, but again, I might not have it, Paulette, I might not have it done to show you when we come to Canada. I might just be knitting on it. So That's my head of feet. I haven't touched it since Jaime went into the hospital because all I've touched is really the boxy. But I am getting back on this now that I just have to do buttons on the boxy cape. And I have a little crochet project that I started a while back. Hope I can reach it. It's called the Hugs and Kisses blanket. Beverly from the LSSK group, she was doing this in some pretty colors. So pretty. And I vowed to say it's all Beverly's fault, but you know, I am my own person. But anyway, here's where I am. I'm trying to figure out which way's up and which way's down. It's got like bobbles and crisscrosses in it, and it's the yarn that pretty much does the work of the striping. It's Karen Baby Cakes in the Dreamy Rose colorway, which is what the pattern, the same color as the pattern.
It's pretty.
And I'm enjoying it, but it's also a thinker. And I kind of crochet kind of tight. So sometimes I don't always enjoy working on it because I can't always find my own stitches to get into. But I didn't want to rip it out and start over on a bigger hook. So I'm just going to keep going with the hook size that I have. So we'll see. It's a fun, you know, sit by the TV crochet. Then I have a few stash enhancements, and one of them I've already started. So I got a rainbow yarn, and Darlene got one of these too. It's the same wool trim, but this one's the 3-ply instead of the 4-ply. It's 3-ply because this colorway couldn't come in 4. So it couldn't come in 4.
I'm not big on the 3-ply.
I'm indifferent, but I'm trying to make the virus shawl that Darlene's already finished one of. I'm pretty sure that's what you're making with yours too. She's using the same yarn, and she's also making a virus shawl. But I haven't made one already. I haven't done a practice one like Darlene, so I'm just kind of learning as I go. It's not very big. I haven't even hit a color change yet.
I haven't either.
Which is a little discouraging.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of red in there.
There's a lot of red in there. I guess, you know, with this one, there was a ton of black and white. I felt like I was doing black and white for hours and hours and hours, and then it finally started really changing. So hopefully, once this starts changing, it'll do good. But so I don't even know what side's the right side and the wrong side. Is there a right side and wrong side?
There is, but I don't know what it is. I mean, Rosanna could look at it and tell you, but I can't tell.
Rosanna's amazing, but I think that's my only other whip. Let me see. Oh, and of course my podcast knitting, which is Paige's socks. Poor thing, she's never going to get these socks if we don't podcast more, but that's what I'm working on during the podcast.
Well, the only other thing I've been doing was, I mean, this is the only thing I've been crocheting on, but I haven't been knitting on anything. I haven't knitted anything in over a month, but I'm like in major destash mode.
Yeah, she is.
I am selling everything I have that is one skein. And so if anybody's interested in anything that it's one skeiner, let me know. And it's not that I don't like the yarn. I love all of the yarn. You know, I mean, I wouldn't have bought it if I didn't like it. And I love it all, but I don't enjoy knitting socks, and I don't enjoy knitting fingering weight hats, and I don't enjoy single skein projects because they're this big. You know?
Yeah.
So I figure, you know, there's a lot of people out there that do like socks, and I thought, you know, they might as well be able to enjoy all of the beautiful yarn I have. So, you know, some of it I look at, I'm like, do I really want to sell that? And I'm like, yeah, I really do.
Mm-hmm.
Good. So I've sold a bunch of needle sets, and I'm trying to like just sell. I want to sell everything and then buy for specific projects.
Sure.
So
sure. Well,
so that's what I've been doing, and that takes a while. It takes time to like
time consuming.
You know, to go through it and take pictures and
post
all that
it
stuff.
and make listings, and yeah, it does.
It takes a while.
It's very time consuming.
I did that all day Saturday and part of the day Sunday. That's what I did.
That's great.
But
I think there's a lot of people who feel that way. I know I felt that way for a long time. I'm like, I just want to get rid of everything and start all over. If I knew back then what I know now, I think I've even heard Michelle from Naughty Knitwits, before say, yeah, I probably would sell that now, if because it's just a 1 skein or a 2 skein or whatever. And that was many, many episodes ago.
And,
a long time ago.
Lisa from Fiber Nymph, she kind of like made me feel a little bit better about my decision to do this because she's doing the same thing. I saw on her Instagram this morning that she had a post that, she's selling some yarn from some indie dyers. And, she basically said the same thing I said. It's not because she doesn't like the yarn. It's that it's sitting on the shelf. She's never going to use it, or she didn't have any plan for it. So, she wanting to sell it so that some other people can, get enjoyment out of it. What I'm not selling is I'm not selling anything that I have a sweater's quantity worth. So, I have a lot of Rios and quite a bit of DK, different things that I'm selling. I'm keeping all of that. I'm mainly selling just the things that's 1 skein. So
I have tons of those too, but it's time consuming, and that's probably why I haven't done it.
It is time consuming.
In the years that I've thought of that, for forever, but it's so much work, and sometimes I'm just like, yeah, I'm not in the mood to do that right now.
I just want to get rid of it. I like walk in the bed in that middle bedroom, and I look at it, and I'm like, it's such. I feel like I don't want to say wasted money, but I've wasted money.
Well, sure.
Because it's just sitting there. So.
No, I get it.
But
I completely get it.
So I'm trying to stash down.
I completely understand. Oh, and I forgot to mention another finished object that I had. I don't have it with me. Is Rosanna's Parallel Waves. So I think for the last few episodes or the last few podcasts or whatever, I've kind of shown that Parallel Waves that I was making for Rosanna. And I finished that, and I have a picture of Rosanna wearing it that I can insert, and it looks great on her. It's kind of small, but I'm guessing that she liked it that way. At least I hope she liked it that way, because it's how the kit came. She just bought it as a kit. So so that got finished. And I do have one other stash enhancement. I only brought 1 skein of it. Joji Locatelli came out with a new pattern, 2 patterns. They're both called the Lounging Top, and one's in sport weight and one's in fingering weight. And the one in sport weight, it's called Madeline Tosh. It's Madeline Tosh, and it's called Work Sock. And I thought, well, why is it called Work Sock if it's sport weight? And it really is sport weight. It's like 200 grams and I don't even know how many yards, but this is the horn color, and
so
I love it.
what's the pattern?
The pattern is, I'll put a link to it, but it's called Lounging Top.
Oh, that's cute.
And she did it with, not this colorway, but she did it with this yarn. And so I ordered some of this yarn in the horn colorway because, it has those beautiful pops of like autumn colors, like red and brown and burnt orange and touches of green and black and gray. This just called my name. When I looked at the yarn, I was like, what yarn is that? I've never heard of that yarn before. So when I was looking at the pattern, and actually when you buy the pattern, you get a receipt from Madeline Tosh. You don't get a receipt from Joji Locatelli. So Joji must have made this pattern for Madeline Tosh, because she used, her yarn for it.
It's a cute pattern, though.
And so my crazy of this episode, I've got to have a little bit of crazy of every podcast, is to see if I can make this before I go to Canada. I would have to work on it and it alone, and I don't know if I can do that, but we'll see. I'll probably
have a month, over a month.
I'll probably cast it on this Saturday, make it like my September sweater and see if I can make it before October 3rd, I think I leave October 3rd. So we'll see. I want it to be long enough and everything, but I'll have a link to it. And this is the yarn I'm going to use. I got 3 skeins, and I hope that comes out very well. And I think that's all I have. Oh, one last thing. Thank you everybody for voting on those brioche socks. So it was the purple and white colorway that won. So hopefully I get to those pretty soon, because every time we podcast, I want to do something new, and I still haven't done what I wanted to do before, but that's just the way that I am, all scattered. But thank you for voting. So purple and white, and I posted in there, purple and white. It looks like it's going to be the winner. So hopefully I can cast those on soon too. Okay. Cast on everything. And that's all I have.
I don't have anything. else except I have a shop update.
Well, if you don't want to listen to the shop update, then we will see you in a couple of weeks. Hopefully nothing happens and we can record again in a couple of weeks. And if you want to see the shop update, then we're going to do it next. Bye.
Bye. So I did have 6 new bags, but I only have 5 of them that are made. So this one is just a Southwest bag. And this is kind of different than what we normally do. Normally our bags are mirror image, they're the same on both sides. This bag is not, because the print is so big on it. It's got buzz. The print's so big on it, it's got one picture on one side and then another picture on the other side.
And I'll take a picture of both to insert.
Not to say that they'll be exactly like this, but
they'll be different.
Similar to this. But they will be different on
one-of-a-kind bags. Each side will be different.
And then got this fall bag, which I think is really, really pretty.
This is beautiful.
So I just love that print. I guess because it's kind of antique-y looking. I really like it. So, and then we have a fall feathers bag.
I like this.
I do too. I really like that.
This matches my yarn.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does.
And then this one is another fall bag. It's like got leaves and bicycles and
cute bicycles with baskets.
And I only have 5 of these, and when they're gone, it's gone. So I won't be carrying that print again. So when those 5 are gone, they're gone. And then just a little flower basket.
This reminds me of Easter.
Kinda. I just thought it was a pretty. I love flowers, so
pretty flower material. With the baskets. And again, I'll take pictures and upload them.
And that's it.
She has one more that she doesn't have.
Yeah, the sample sold.
The sample sold, so she doesn't have a sample to show, but it's a cat knitting.
It's really cute.
And also a little girl knitting. So I'm going to put a picture in here, and also when that fabric sells out, she's not getting any more of that.
That's
so
limited.
If you see it here and you want to get it, you better hurry up and go buy it. So, but that's all we have.
That's it.
So we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Bye.
Bye.